Okay, let's unpack this. Our source material puts two learning approaches side by side. You've got the traditional model, which the researchers say often ends in a catastrophic failure of basic learning. Ouch. And then there's this platforms approach. They call it an architecture of mastery.
Yeah, and what's really fascinating here, for me at least, isn't just the tech itself, it's the diagnosis they make.
Hmm.
They argue that standard teaching methods often create um, fragile, inert knowledge.
Inert knowledge.
Meaning, you can, spit back a definition on a test. You check the box, but you can't actually use that knowledge to solve a genuine problem. It just sits there, inert.
Right. So it's not really learned in a practical sense.
Exactly. So our mission today really is to dig into the 5 big reasons why this platform claims to avoid that trap,
Yeah.
how it structurally fixes that inert knowledge issue.
Okay, reason one seems to be about changing the goalposts. Traditional learning often relies on, well, reciting things back. This platform says it's better because it uses this philosophical idea, Wittgenstein's meaning as use. You only know it if you can use it.
Precisely.
So what does that actually look like for the person using the platform? How do they use it?
It means success is measured by deployment, not just definition. Can you apply it? The system makes sure skills stick by putting users into what's called situated cognition.
Situated cognition, like real-world context.
Yeah, forget abstract quizzes for a moment. Think authentic simulations. They call them language games. You're dropped into a realistic scenario, maybe a virtual crisis. You don't define strategy. You have to apply a strategy to get through it.
Ah, okay. So you're forced to wrestle with the concept actively.
Exactly. And that active use taps into things like the generation effect. You remember better if you generate the answer yourself. And self-explanation, figuring it out in your own terms. You're creating the knowledge pathway, not just, walking down one someone else paved.
Okay, that makes sense for making knowledge usable. But where does the rigor come from? That brings us to reason 2, I think. The source mentions a foundation of Nobel Prize-winning cognitive science combined with PISA-winning Finnish pedagogy. Sounds impressive, but what does that mean practically?
It means the how of learning is based on solid science about memory and cognition, how the brain actually builds lasting understanding, and the Finnish pedagogy part. That brings in the focus on conceptual depth, not just skimming the surface. Plus, psychological safety, making it okay to make mistakes, because that's how you learn.
Right, mistakes as data points, not failures.
Exactly. The system learns about you from your mistakes.
Which leads nicely into reason 3, acceleration and personalization. This is where the AI really comes in, right? How does it speed things up and tailor it so effectively?
It gets personal. It leverages something called the self-relevance effect. The AI weaves your specific context, maybe you're a manager, so it includes your team's dynamics or your market pressures directly into those simulations we talked about.
Ah, so it feels directly applicable to my world.
Precisely. And that makes the memory encoding much, much stronger. It sticks because it feels relevant to you.
But what about learning fast? If I'm pushed to accelerate, won't I just make a ton of mistakes and ingrain bad habits?
That's a great question, and it's where instant feedback comes in. This is critical. It's based on operant conditioning principles. You get corrected on every single micro task almost immediately. Low latency.
So no time for the mistake to settle in.
Right. Think about traditional homework. You make a mistake, maybe find out days later. By then, the wrong pathway is already getting grooved in. Instant feedback stops that. It nips errors in the bud, which is actually a key part of accelerating the correct learning.
Okay, so durable knowledge, scientific rigor, personalized speed. What's the ultimate payoff here? Reason 4 talks about a meta skill.
Yeah, this is the long game. The meta skill of accelerated mastery. By practicing specific cognitive tasks defined by science, like, say, analogical reasoning or seeing future consequences, perspective thinking, you essentially perfect the process of learning itself. Those complex strategies move from conscious, clunky effort.
Like learning to drive stick shift, maybe. All concentration at first.
Exactly like that. It shifts to become an automated procedural policy.
Yeah.
You just do it. You don't think about how to learn analogically anymore. You just do it effectively.
So your learning engine gets upgraded.
That's a great way to put it. It creates this compounding advantage. Every new thing you learn faster and deeper because the underlying machinery is better.
This sounds incredibly powerful, but also potentially isolating. Does this kind of high-tech optimization push human teachers out of the picture? That's reason 5, right? Support for teachers.
Right, and it's actually designed to do the opposite. It acts like a tireless digital teaching assistant. It handles the grunt work, the personalized practice, the instant grading, diagnosing common sticking points for each student.
Stuff that takes up huge amounts of teacher time and energy now.
Exactly. It combats burnout. And more importantly, it empowers human teachers. It frees up their cognitive load, their time, so they can focus on the uniquely human, high-impact stuff AI can't do.
Like mentoring.
Mentoring, building relationships, sparking curiosity, handling complex emotional needs, all the things that make a great teacher irreplaceable.
So it's a tool for the teacher, not a replacement.
That's the intention, absolutely. So if you pull back and look at the big picture, the platform's claim to superiority isn't just about fancy tech. It's about fundamentally fixing the method of learning itself. Moving past that trap of inert knowledge and actually optimizing the cognitive process for durable, applicable skills.
It really reframes the whole learning process. Which brings us to our final thought for you, the listener. If the really hard cognitive work of deep learning, of mastering how to learn, could be automated into perfect form like this, what completely new field, maybe something you always thought was too hard, would you choose to master next, knowing that your ability to learn has itself been permanently upgraded?